Hi, to help us get ready for the domestic law variation, we've come up with the 4 Ps. These are things that we can work on at home before we venture out onto the pitch. OT, what are the 4 Ps?
Well, John, the 4 Ps are preparation, presence, positioning and process.
Okay, OT, so what exactly do we mean by preparation?
Well, preparation is all things to us as match officials. In an ideal world, it would include things like refreshing our knowledge of the laws of the game. So, studying the tackle height sanction framework and World Rugby head contact process, completing the England Rugby head case concussion awareness course online, and training ahead of the season to be at an appropriate level of fitness for our refereeing environments.
As you say, that's quite an extensive list, but they're all important. Thanks for that, OT. We know many match officials will also want to create their own SWOT and GROW models ahead of the season and use these to reflect on their learning from each game to help drive their own development.
Yeah, absolutely, JW. These are excellent tools for us as match officials to use to build great conversations with our match official developers, whether that's our referee coaches or performance reviewers.
The second of the 4 Ps is presence. OT, we hear this word being used a lot. Can you explain what this means in this context?
Yeah, of course. So this links back nicely with our principles of refereeing, and particularly the learning and laws section. If we have a clear understanding of the laws and what good looks like, we're more likely to make the right decision, especially if we're under pressure. But also, if we practice the language used in laws, then we can communicate decisions more succinctly with the players. As match officials, this gives us credibility, and players can easily understand what we have seen and why we have come to that decision.
Next is positioning. Positioning is a common theme that runs through officiating. As we know, it's important to be in the right place at the right time to identify the first offence or minor infringements and of course a try being scored. What is your advice for match officials around positioning? And is there anything that they can do at home on this before the head of the new season?
There certainly is, JW. In the first instance, being fit for purpose is massively important. Making sure that we have an appropriate level of fitness for our rugby environment will give us the best platform to be in the right place at the right time and make those accurate decisions. There are other whistle stops available and plenty of resources on Keep Your Boots On about positioning and fitness, so you should go and check these out.
In this clip we can see good positioning from the referee, who is up with play and keeps reading the game. You will see that he anticipates which direction the ball is likely to travel and moves with it. He keeps moving around the back of the contact area and is rarely static. So the final P is process. We talk about process refereeing in our webinars and during course delivery. It sounds a bit dry, but what does that mean, OT?
So you'll already be familiar with the refereeing process around the tackle, which includes the tackler, the ball carrier and arriving players. It will be beneficial for all match officials to spend some time to fully understand how the new domestic law variation will impact their refereeing processes. Watching the rest of the Whistle Stop series and accessing all of our other online content will help you to develop your processes around the tackle. By combining all these elements, it will help support the continued enjoyment that match officials experience while officiating. So let's take a look at a good example of the tackle process during a game.
Your 2 is off feet, not you.
The red ball carrier carries into the white and green defensive line, is tackled by 2 white and green players who quickly roll out the way for the red arriving players to stay on their feet. This is a nice clean tackle process and gives the 9 the opportunity to play the ball away.
Remember that resources are available at the England Rugby Tackle Height Hub, the referee toolkits on Keep Your Boots On and visit the World Rugby website. Now, before we wrap up on this whistle stop, what are your final 3 tips, especially in relation to the 4 Ps, OT?
Okay, JW, so my 3 tips would be as fit as you can for your refereeing environment, Set yourself up for success by accessing as many of the training resources as you can. And finally, and most importantly, enjoy being part of the game by networking with other people in your rugby community, whether that's other match officials, coaches, players and volunteers.
OT, thanks for that. There are 3 great top tips. Now, let's make sure that we all go out there and enjoy it.